How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I am Dave B. I sell Chevys, but not today. Today's Tuesday, it's my day off, and I decided to take a little bit of time to just enjoy myself and go out on a little adventure on the Mantis Pro Scooter that I picked up recently from Fluid Freeride. You can see we're about 8.5 miles into our ride right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you on the ride back to the car. And along that ride, we're going to talk about basically the scooter, my thoughts on it, and also the recent class I took to get my motorcycle license in the state of New Jersey. All right, camera is back in harness, kickstand up, left foot forward, back foot on the footrest, hit the throttle, check for traffic, nobody there, and we are off. All right, so welcome to the ride. This is a nice, relatively quiet road. There's not too much traffic on it. That's why I chose it. I did ride on it once before. It's pretty decent as far as pavement. Most of it is brand new pavement. Some areas on this end I'm noticing are a little choppy, but the suspension of the Mantis Pro handles it very well and just absorbs all those bumps like you just saw there. One thing I will say, in the 200 miles that I've ridden on the scooter, it is very, very confidence inspiring. It holds the road very well. As you increase your skill level, you can kind of increase your speed, and it just becomes really a fun pleasure to be on. As you can see, I'm totally relaxed. I'm, basically just cruising along. I'm at 26 miles an hour. I'm scanning the road for any potholes or cracks or things I should look out for, at which point I would avoid it. And I periodically check behind myself, like right now, just to make sure there are no cars coming behind me. It shouldn't be a problem on this road because the speed limit's not that high. However, the cars seem to do double what it states. But yeah, so the Mantis Pro, it's been a great scooter. I love it. I got it from a company called Fluid Freeride. I did another video on the Mantis Pro, which I'll link at the end of this one, and you can watch that if you didn't see it yet, which is more of like a review. Today we're just gonna have some fun. Just gonna ride around, and when we get to that nice smooth pavement, we're gonna go full send and see what kind of speeds we can get this at. I'm sure you noticed I had a full face motorcycle helmet on, so we are being very safe. I did wear gloves today. I also have on a pair of jeans. And again, in the 200 miles that I've ridden this, I feel more than confident to take it up to some top speeds. Some of the comments I got on my last video were all about like the risks of riding a scooter and how you're going to end up in the hospital and you're going to be an organ donor. And listen, I understand there are risks that come along with this. At that time I was riding the scooter, I didn't have a helmet on, so I think that may be what prompted some of that. Now I have a full face motorcycle helmet, so I should be protected if I did have a fall. But like anything in life, like there's risk involved, and you have to weigh out the risks with the reward. Right now the reward is I'm enjoying a beautiful day. I'm riding through the woods. Got the wind sort of in my face here as I'm going down. I can smell the woods and really just enjoy a nice cruise on a nice quiet country road, which is a lot of fun. And what I want to do is I want to take that feeling and I want to take it to the next level. So that's where the motorcycle license comes into play. And what I recently did was I took a rider's education course in New Jersey. It's basically a bunch of parts. So the first part is you got to do an online, the first part is you got to pay $335. The second part is you got to take an online course. It takes about 3 hours. It was pretty intense. It's a lot of videos, it's a lot of learning, it's a lot of questions, and it's a test at the end that you have to pass. If you pass, you print out a certificate and you can move on to the next step. The next step is a Saturday and Sunday course. Now I took the one at County College of Morris. That's like 10 minutes from my house. I knew it was there because 20 years ago I went to school there, and on Saturdays I remember I had a course on Saturday, and I remember seeing the class practice. So when it came time for me to do it, I just kind of looked it up on Google and found it. The class gets great reviews, and our instructors Bob and Dave were fantastic. We had 10 people in our group. So you show up Saturday morning at like 7 o'clock, and they do some intros and stuff like that, and then they get right into learning, and you kind of do like a textbook session first. I would say within about 2 hours we were on bikes. They provide the motorcycles. They're like Honda Rebel 250s and some Kawasaki's and stuff like that, so very small bikes, but bikes nonetheless. and you basically hop on, and they start by teaching you all the controls and how things work. Then they start showing you the clutch and the friction zone, and you start applying that and kind of rocking the bike back and forth. Then you do like a power walk where you're walking with the bike in that friction zone, going to, you know, maybe 3, 4, 5 miles an hour. Then little by little, your feet are up off the pegs. And then you get into steering, and you get into braking, and you get into shifting, and you basically get into all the different aspects of riding a motorcycle, you know, all the aspects you can get to in a parking lot for 2 days. And at the end of that second day, you have an evaluation. The evaluation is a point-based system. So you start out at 0, and as you go through these different evolutions, there's 5 of them, you can get points deducted. So for instance, if you put your foot down while you're making your sharp right turn, it's 5 points off, or 5 points on, I should say. So 2 times you put your foot down and you're basically ready to fail. Like it's that quick that you can fail. And one of the troubles I had was turning. You had to make some real sharp right turns, slow maneuvers, and some figure eights inside a box, and doing things that I was just entirely too big for the bike. You know, so for me to turn that bike and have to bring that handlebar almost to the fuel tank, I would have to actually kick my leg out either to the left or the right to get my knee way out far from the bike in order to complete that turn. So it was a little goofy at times. It was a little awkward for me, but I got the job done, and I got it done with a perfect score. So I was really happy. I was really proud of myself. I applied everything I learned, and you know, I really just took it seriously and wasn't intimidated by the bike. I think a lot of people were a little intimidated by the bike, and they got points, you know, demerits or points, whatever you want to call them, in times that they probably shouldn't have, had they just sped up a little bit more or braked a little harder or whatever the case may be. But it was a great experience. I'm really happy I did it. And now that I did it and completed it, I have 60 days to go to motor vehicle and get my motorcycle endorsement. And the class I took waives the road test and the written test at DMV. So it's gonna save a lot of time. It's also awesome because I didn't need a motorcycle, because if I went through DMV, I would need my own motorcycle. And then, you know, plus you learn basically 2 days plus the 3-hour course. You learn a whole bunch of safety skills that you may not have learned on your own. So it was an awesome experience. The problem right now is DMV is out of control as far as, you know, lines and being completely backlogged because of COVID. So I don't know exactly when I'm going to get there. I passed by it yesterday, the local one to me, and it was absolutely insane. Probably 3 times the cars that are normally there. So I just drove right by and didn't even bother. But one of these days on a Tuesday, I will have to wake up bright and early, get in line, and just wait it out for as long as it takes. And then once I get my motorcycle license, it'll be time to just, you know, decide when is the right time for me to buy a motorcycle. I'm looking at a Suzuki Boulevard M50. I think it's a good size for my height. It's an 805cc, so it's not like a crazy amount of power. You know, it's I think a perfect beginner bike for myself to get a good feel for it, and really just to cruise around. All I want to do is pretty much what I'm doing right now. I just want to hop on country roads that are quiet, you know, and just enjoy a half-hour, you know, a ride on a weekend or something like that. So I'm looking forward to it. It's funny, I was thinking about it lately. I went a number of years ago, I bought a Corvette. I went 5 years with a Corvette, stick shift, went drag racing a couple times, and just had that whole life. Then I sold that car. About 2 years later, I bought a Jeep Wrangler, went through that life. I did the off-roading and did the, you know, the whole modding out a truck and lifting, and had that for about 5 years. And now I sold that 2 years ago, this November. It's like I want to get into the next thing. So I think motorcycle will be the next, you know, little five-year hobby for me. And I'm excited about it. I'm really excited. Again, I understand the risks. I know the risks involved. And quite frankly, I don't know how you live, but the way I've lived, you know, really my life is that I'm an optimist, right? I see the glass half full. I see it being more of, you know, something that I can get into. I can respect what it is, learn, build skill, and have fun while doing it. Of course, you hear horror stories and you know, people get injured and people die and all that sort of stuff, but I don't see that being a reason to stop me, because the odds are, or statistically, I would imagine there are a lot more people that ride motorcycles that haven't had an incident than ones that have. Man, this really is a nice road. Beautiful day, fun scooter to ride. I just had a comment recently about somebody that was buying a different model, and the board was all flat. right? And I mentioned in the comment back to him that I like this Mantis Pro because it has the footrest on the back. It's the little portion that goes up over the fender that you put your foot on, and what it does is it kind of kicks your heel up. I can't show you right now on camera, but it's nice having that foot there where you know it's not going to slide off the back of the scooter if you hit a bump the wrong way or if you speed up too fast. Like, it just keeps you really well planted. I mean, again, this is a very confident, inspiring ride, if I didn't say that already. I mean, right now I'm cruising at 29 miles an hour, you know, not even on the smoothest of pavement, and it's you know, it's actually relaxing. Just got to keep scanning the road for stuff ahead of you, and keep your weight shifted. If you see some bumps, you lean back like that, let the suspension do its work, and yeah, just keep going. This is a blast. Nobody behind me, so I don't have to worry. And here's good pavement. So let's see what this thing's got. That's full throttle. Doing 36, 37 miles an hour. I am 6'5". I'm 206 pounds as of this morning. I mean, this thing just handles great. One thing I will say that I do, if you ride one of these scooters, I like the fact that you have the like the throttle is a finger pull. I just keep one finger on it. I keep it all the way to the very right edge. You know, this way, if I see something coming, I can just snap off it real fast. You know, I don't have to worry about being hung up on the throttle at all. It's a little different with the glove on. I never wore gloves before, so the glove kind of gets caught on it. But usually I just use like the side of my finger to press the throttle. Because one thing that'll happen when you ride this, if you hit a bump a certain way, you know, you can pull the throttle. And if you pull the throttle down, it'll launch itself forward. So just want to be mindful of that. Other than that, I mean, the scooter handles great. Got a little bit of an uphill here. It's an uphill beast. And if you had to stop in a hurry, you can. Lean back a little bit. And there you go. And then you're right back up and running. There's actually a lot of hiking trails around here as well. I think I want to do that one day. Climb up the mountain. Yeah, you throw some boots on, you pack a lunch, be a good time. Up here we got a little red light action. We got to stop and wait until this light turns green, because up here it's only one lane. Hopefully it changes by a time and not by a sensor. Because if it's a sensor, me not being a car, I can be here all day. We're at 15.9 miles, 62% battery left, or what looks like 4 bars out of 5. There is a mode on here where you can see the actual, I guess it's the voltage that's going out. Right now I'm at 59.9. I think fully charged it's 67.8. And you know, as you're applying throttle, you'll see that energy go down or up. Right now it just went to 60. I think I read in the owner's manual that at 44, the scooter turns off and you'd have to plug it in to reset it. So right now we got plenty of battery left. Oh, and there's the green light. Let's do it. But look at this. Look at how beautiful. What's more fun than this? Beautiful Tuesday morning, taking a scoot. That's the whole 1-lane part. So, all right, ladies and gents, I'm gonna end the video here. Hope you enjoyed the ride. Again, you have any questions about the motorcycle class or the scooter or selling cars or Chevys or anything for that matter, please let me know. I love the conversation. I appreciate you watching, and you guys and gals enjoy the rest of your day.